think that the challenge is to have more customer information in the database. All the information exists, yet nobody seems to connect it to one CRM or one big data database. Once you have more information about the customer, you would be able to tailor-made an offer and tailor-made an experience. Today I have yet to see an airline that does a good job at that, but clearly that is where everybody wants to go, to create the experience that separates you from the others.
Yeah.
As travel in airlines becomes more of a commodity, you have to do something to separate you from the others and to make a customer want to come back. And it's more than just the travel experience. It's making the travel experience unique for that customer. Clearly, in Mexico, on-time performance is the single most important attribute to travel. So as we improve continuously on-time performance, and that's on-time performance is not only the time of departure, it's also the time of arrival, it's also faster queues in airports, it's also faster time to get your luggage. Customers start to separate one airline from another. In our airline, more than 30% of our customers actually have a transfer, so it's not A to B, it's A to B to C.
Yeah.
So the way that you manage a transfer in an airport becomes more and more important, where we need to make sure that a delay in the first flight immediately protects you on the second flight, so you don't have a half-hour delay becoming a 12-hour delay in the second part. As we work more and more with airports, we have to make sure that the experience is consistent. So if you have an A to B to C, you have to have an airport that receives you, an airport that transfers you, and an airport that dispatches you. And so, of course, all three experiences have to be flawless. And when something goes wrong, such as a delay or perhaps a missed luggage, all three touch points are able to help you. I think perhaps the most basic is a better use of the internet. In other words, we all have web pages, but it doesn't mean we have a good web page. An app, of course, is where everybody's going to, where you have an intelligent app that can help give you all your customer information and tailor-made the experience. And finally, on board, technology is already moving towards Wi-Fi or connectivity, which means that we're going to see more entertainment on board, but also more information that is relevant to you. Perhaps if you were doing this A to B to C, you would like to know somewhere on the plane during the flight, where is the next gate of your next flight. You would like to know that your luggage missed your first flight, and you're able to be told when it will arrive. So we need to become much closer to real time, and we need to connect the experience and the transaction to a customer. They're doing a decent job when we're talking about a frequent flyer. They're not doing a decent job when it's somebody who's not part of the database. What we do is we have a big challenge to have more emails and more cell phone numbers in the reservation system, because if you don't have that, the whole system fails. And we are making sure that we continuously send information to the customers, either by email or by SMSs, when there is a delay, when there's a cancellation. And I think clearly what we are seeing now, a change, is airlines becoming much more proactive. So when you cancel a flight, you rebook the customer, you send in the new flight information, and hopefully that works out. It's a very simple and smooth process. If the customer wants to cancel the flight after all, they can do that, but the more you can do before, the more you can automate and send to the customer, the easier it will be for the customer to deal with a delay or cancellation. I think it's a challenging question, because the airports and the airlines are not always aligned. We both talk CRM, we both talk customer experience, but we're not always talking the same message. What the customers are looking for in an airport, of course, are faster lines. But perhaps it doesn't start there. It starts with good parking. It starts with an easy place to get out of your taxi. It starts with a shorter walk to drop off your luggage. It starts with faster security filters and nicer security agents. It starts with better customs and immigration officers who don't depend from the airport or the airlines, yet they're part of the travel experience. It goes with a entertaining duty-free purchasing experience, better food options. It starts with VIP lounges that are not out of your way and make sense. So I think the airport of the futures will be perhaps more aligned with the customer experience, with the customer needs. I think that it is fundamental to start looking at Wi-Fi everywhere in the airport, and not like everybody else. They want to make $2 out of you instead of thinking of what you really need when you land in China. And so hopefully we're going to see more alignment of airports and airlines, but we have to be honest and realize that airlines have competitors. Very few airports have competitors, and so they are less incentivized to improve the customer experience than we are.